Former New England Patriots tight end Aaron Hernandez has been identified in court as the man who fired into a vehicle, killing two people in a 2012 drive-by shooting in Boston. Two others in the car survived. They were in court for a pretrial hearing. One of them ID'd Hernandez. It's pretty horrific testimony coming out of that hearing. Nick Fortuna is a trial and appellate attorney. Nick, thanks so much for being with us. I should note, Aaron Hernandez is in jail for the rest of his life, period,
yes,
anyway.
Yeah.
This is for a whole separate case.
Right.
In a pretrial hearing, when you have someone ID you, as the trigger man like that, how damaging is that?
It's devastating testimony for Hernandez. Sanchez, who identified him, was in the vehicle. One of the issues that the judge has to decide is whether or not the identification was definite enough, because he did say looks like him. I think the issue more was that English wasn't his first language, rather than whether or not he knew that Hernandez was the shooter, because he described everything that happened in detail there. He seemed to be a very good witness on the stand. In addition to that, which will buttress the testimony, Alexander Brady will also testify that Hernandez shot into the vehicle.
The judge will have to determine, though, whether Sanchez, this witness, whether it's factual, whether it's evidence-based and not just opinion or something.
Well, you're right, but also he'll have to determine whether it's prejudicial, and that's the key here, right? Because if the judge thinks that there'll be too much weight put on this testimony and it's not definite enough, then it'll prejudice Hernandez in determining whether or not he's guilty of shooting into the vehicle. Not that it's bad testimony for him, just that it has to be conclusive enough to warrant introduction into trial.
So we'll wait to hear what the judge says on that case. Meanwhile, Aaron Hernandez is already in jail for the rest of his life.
I think this
so it's almost an academic argument.
Right.
Another trial or another case that people are watching very closely, particularly people who watch HBO, Robert Durst, Skyen, billionaire or millionaire Skyen of the family, charged with murder or wanting to know if he's connected to the disappearance and murder of someone. Of course, in the HBO documentary, you hear him saying, "What the hell did I do? Killed them all, of course."
Right.
He said that out loud. We all heard him say it. Now, apparently, he's suggesting he was on drugs. He was on meth when he said that. What impact could that have?
I mean, I think that's more for the defense to try to argue to the jury. Whether or not that evidence comes in that he was on meth at the time, I think will be questionable. I mean, at this late stage, there was no proof that he was on drugs at the time. The judge will look at the video. I think that he's trying to undermine the confession by saying he was on meth. I think there's a good chance it won't even come before the jury.
You think this will be settled, this case? Or
No, I'm sorry. The testimony about that he was on meth, I think it's going to go to the jury because, at this point, they want to prosecute him for the murder.
All right, Nick Fortuna, great to have you with us. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.